Hi, Marilyn O'Malley here, MarilynO'Malley.com, and today I'm going to talk about 3 agreements that we can make as women that will help entitle women's leadership. And I think we're in an amazing place right now as far as women really starting to be heard, to hear each other, to connect, to come together, to see what we can do together, and also step more into our power. And I want to contribute to this, and I think over the years of all the work that I've done on myself and helping women for over 15 years, seeing what is necessary in order for each of us to step into our own power and authenticity and into our leadership as highly sensitives. And so there's 3 agreements, like the 4 agreements that Don Miguel Ruiz wrote. I've come up with 3 agreements that I think are really empowering and a way to really cherish who we are as women and to cherish each other. So the first one is to respect myself and respect others. And so what I would say with that is, number 1, to stop judging. Stop judging ourselves. Stop judging others. This is probably one of the biggest changes that really started to transform my life, was when I saw how much in the background in my head I was beating myself up and saying, and there's a difference between improving and growing and learning versus a constant, you're not good enough, something's just judging, a habitual thing that we actually learn. We've learned it by the people around us. So it's being highly critical, and sometimes we're doing things, we're judging ourselves, so then we project that onto other people and we start judging others as a way to make ourselves feel better. It's their fault, they're wrong, how could they, what were they thinking? Gossiping is terrible. And I think once you learn to, number 1, have compassion and love towards yourself and where you're at and the feelings that you're having and experiencing, and how critical you are towards yourself. A lot of times we're our worst enemy, and we don't realize how that's bringing our life down energetically, how that's influencing our perception of the world, right? If we're thinking we're terrible for whatever reasons, that we're not enough, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not rich enough, blah, 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 or this is wrong or that's wrong, we're not perfect, right? All those perfectionists out there, and then you get so pissed off because things aren't working out the way that you perfectly want them to, and so there must be something wrong with you, and because others aren't doing the things that you want them to do perfectly, or they're not showing up the way you think they should, the conditions and things that you've been trained, because that's how you think you should be, right? Then there's this you're seeing your world in a whole different venue than you're seeing how you don't want to see it, versus really looking for the things that you want to create in your life, and helping yourself show up. So you're really like putting yourself down, you're putting other people down, you're limiting the ability for things to happen in your life that are opportunities and possibilities, because you're all focused on all the things that are oppressing, suppressing, pushing you down, and instead of uplifting and creating something totally different. So, like I said, stopping negative judgments for myself and stopping it with others. And just when you catch yourself, the thing you can do is just like, oh, there I go. I did it to myself again. Just like stop, delete, delete. I love you. I love you. You know, it's allowing ourselves to respect ourselves and respect others and respect the uniqueness that each of us are. None of us are the same. None of us have come into the world with the same conditions and the same things, training, input, education, parents, etc. So, or talents and gifts and desires, passions. We're all different. And I think when we start to really respect and honor that and realize that you are unique, I am unique. There is nobody else out there like me. And so there's no one for me to compare myself to. And there's no comparison that I can have that I could tell anybody else that they should be doing something different than they are, because that's their growth, that learning, their expression, and they've got to find it on their own, because they have their own goals and passions and desires to go after that aren't mine. So so that's stop gossiping, stop talking about other people in a negative way. You know, what if we showed up uplifting ourselves and uplifting others? It will change everything in your life, and you will start to attract different people, different opportunities, possibilities, events in your life that you just can't even imagine right now with this judgmental, limiting perspective that you're living from now. So that's number one, is respect yourself and others. Number two is honor and celebrate your feminine. So a lot of us females, and I know myself in particular and a lot of the women that I've worked with, we've grown up in a world that felt very male dominated. And for a lot of us with an awareness said, from a very young age, that it's like, I want what they want. The boys have more freedom. There's different things about them that feels, I don't feel safe being a woman. Or we saw our mothers to us appeared weak, and we saw the feminine as something that was oppressed or powerless or emotional, right? Depending on our parents. And I think emotions are great, so I'll explain that a little bit later. But where it was, if you had a parent who was depressed, or you had a parent who was a narcissist, or had bipolar, you had a narcissistic father who treated a mother in a dominating way, and again, you can have grandparents, whatever, you just, in your world growing up, that you saw that women weren't treated equally. You saw in some ways that they were put down, oppressed, repressed, suffered from it, and that how people responded to them, and you said, or how you responded to them, and what you had to do to get through, right, and grow up. And some of us had to become the parent in some ways too. So we said, in our childhood, I'm not going to be like them. I'm not going to be like my mother. I don't want to appear weak and powerless and vulnerable and not enough. I want power. I want freedom. I want to be respected. You know, I want all these things. And so we said, and not realizing how it would affect us, but we said, we don't want that. We're not going to have that. And then so what did we have to choose from then? We're going to be more like the men, like the boys. We're going to emulate more of the masculine qualities than we are of the feminine qualities. Now, as long as we say we're not going to be like our mothers, we're not going to be like the feminine in how we grew up, and this is running unconsciously in a lot of us females. So, and then it's also doubly hard on that too, because a lot of you I'm speaking to are entrepreneurs like myself, and when you're running a business, you're in a lot of your masculine energy. So it's learning, and we feel like at work, right? We're in our power. We're pushing things through. We're being competitive, or depending on your business, right? There's just certain that we're getting things done. We're going from A to B. We're focused. We're a lot of those masculine energies. We're strong. We're in our logic. We're independent. We're disciplined. We have confidence. We're aware. We're assertive. We're a lot more in that masculine driving energy, and we feel free. And then if we spend more and more time in that, we forget what our feminine is, or we're not feeling safe in our feminine. So we have to feel strong in order, and we take on the masculine energy in order to move forward, or to feel like we can get things done. I really know the value from myself and from working with all my clients of really taking the time and discovering who you are in your feminine, and remembering, I'm not my mother, I'm not my grandmother, I'm not the women of the past, I'm my own person. And to understand that when you're at work and you're running your business, that you will be in a lot more of your masculine energies, but you have really powerful, strong, and feminine energies that are really important for you to be authentically you, for you to take on, to start honoring and celebrating them, like your intuition, like your creative abilities, your ability to receive and be empathetic, your sensuality. All of this can play into your business and into your life in a way that makes it really interesting, and that you have that freedom. You have that freedom that a man has. We've just kind of conditioned ourselves to not think that we're as free of them, and they've conditioned us to not think we're as free of them but we're discovering that we are, right? And there's all these opportunities and possibilities. So our ability to be expressive, to be use our emotions in ways to connect with others, to use our emotions to express things in life, in our business, in our relationships, to pull people in as a leader, to be able to express and get people to follow you, right? To connect, to collaborate, to be able to gather people around you, to influence, to be able to be empathic and understands what needed to see those things, and to create a vision and help create that and get that out there. Those are your feminine powers. Those are parts of you being able to be vulnerable and share a story so people can relate to you and what it is that you have to offer. And to have that empathy so they feel seen and heard, and in your family, in your community, or through your business. And so as you can see, there's that our thoughtfulness and our deep ways of expressing things and processing things as a female are really important, and being able to relate to each other and communicate to each other, and to create a healthy balance between the masculine and the feminine in our world, and to teach our children, and to create peace in the world, to see other people's perceptions and perspectives, to be able to feel what's important versus versus what's making something right or wrong. There's so many avenues that we can talk about that I don't want to take up that much time, but I want to give you things to ponder on here, that your femininity is very powerful and very strong. And when you tap into that and combine that with your masculine energies, and you become more authentic, and you become more real, and you have a stronger foundation on which to stand and to know where you come from. You know, it's like that is your life force energy. And if you deny that feminine, you're denying a big part of your life force energy. And there is so much to explore about that. And then, so let's go on to the third agreement here, is to take responsibility for creating your life. I take responsibility for creating my life. This is huge, huge, because number one, it's like no giving. So this is where if you give your power away and you don't take responsibility for creating your life, for making your choices, for watching what you're thinking, believing, feeling, and what you're acting on, and just doing that unconsciously, then you are putting yourself in a powerless position. You are putting yourself, you're giving your power away. And when you take full responsibility of what you're thinking and what you're feeling and your beliefs and your actions, your whole life will change. All these three agreements, if you practice all these, your life will drastically change for the positive, for the good. And stop thinking that other people are responsible for your pain or for your decisions or for your place in life. It's when we think somebody else has control over us, that's when we are really powerless. That's when we are the most vulnerable to being hurt. When we can take control and have responsibility and say, I am good enough, I am smart enough, I have opportunities and possibilities like anybody else, and nobody can take that away from me. I can only give it away. I have the power to make choices to make me healthy, to make me wealthy, to create anything that I want to create in this world. I'm the one that creates my values and what's important to me. And I'm the one that chooses the actions that back that up or not. I'm the one who thinks the thoughts in my head. who lets those play, who lets those old tapes play away, that old conditioning that isn't me. And I can at any time take responsibility and put new thoughts in my head and start running them. I am lovable. I am worthy. I deserve everything that I desire. And here's what I desire. So the truth is, your life ends and begins with you. And so by not letting men or race or religion or sex or education or your financial status or any other circumstance stop you from creating the life you desire, you take control. What do I want? Who do I want to become? What am I here to do? What's my life force energy want? How do I want to show up in the world? Who do I want to be surrounded by? And you start taking actions every day by reprogramming that mind, those thoughts, by living from emotions of love, compassion, gratitude, desire, by owning and honoring your femininity, by celebrating you, by respecting you and respecting others. That's a healing journey. That's a positive journey. And all of these three agreements together will transform your life. And what you can start to do is create a daily practice that addresses all three of these agreements. A daily practice that addresses, that honors and celebrates and respects who you are and what you desire. A daily practice of thinking new thoughts, of feeling new feelings, of taking time to go inward and say, who am I? What's inside? Instead of living for everybody else out here or doing what I've been programmed to do, what's really in here? How do I get my juices going? What's important to me? And a daily practice of changing your actions. If you want to be healthier, take one new action every day to be healthier. Thinking new healthy thoughts. Putting healthy food in your mouth. Nurturing your body. Loving this body. Loving you. Doing whatever work is necessary to heal what is inside of you. What is hurting inside of you. What is limiting you. Breaking free of those bonds, of those limitations, so that you have an unlimited ability to do whatever you desire, to have that much freedom. To have that much love, to have that much respect and honor and celebration in your life is amazing. So your empowered, beautiful feminine is waiting for you. She's waiting for you to uncover and let her be free and let her express herself and love you and show up and create in the world And I hope you will allow her to do that. And if you have any desire or think that you would like some guidance on this, I'm here for you. It's my passion in the world. And I'm telling you, I couldn't do this until I allowed my feminine back in. Till I let her express herself, and that I honored her. And that was quite a while and quite scary. But I'm letting you know, my life has been beyond what I ever could have imagined. And it keeps going, keeps going. And I tell you, it's super important for you to be successful in your business, in your relationships, and in your own heart. To fall in love with yourself, all of you. Like I said, a lot of you here, we're all brilliant, juicy messes. And the messiness is part, because that's part of us. It's part of what creates our quirkiness. It creates our interest in where we're growing and what we're doing. There's nobody who's not doesn't have a mess. But if we stop looking at the mess like it's, kryptonite, like it's going to kill us, which it's not going to. It's just part of there. It's just, well, for some reason, like bohemians coming up. It's like it's like a part of us that is still growing and learning and is wanting attention. That's all. It's a part of us that's wanting attention and needs some compassion and some loving, so that it will even embellish even more our juiciness and our brilliance. So please respect yourself and others. Honor and celebrate your feminine. And take responsibility for creating the life that you are desiring. Because nobody else can do that for you. And nobody else can live this amazing life that's waiting you. And nobody else can heal you. That's your job. And it's a brilliant job. And it's amazing, and it doesn't take a long time. So, love, live, and matter until we meet next time. Marilyn O'Malley.